Hello, Poweraders, and welcome back. I am Power Nate,
And I'm the Mountain.
and today we have Powerade Zero Sugar Grape Edition.
What can you tell me about this Powerade Zero Sugar Grape Edition?
So it says it is grape flavored, naturally and artificially flavored,
Ooh, interesting.
with other natural flavors.
This is actually different from the orange that we had tried just a little bit ago, which had just natural flavors. So that's interesting. There's some sort of artificiality going on here.
Yeah. Getting over to the nutrition facts, we have 2.5 servings per container, 0 calories per serving.
Very standard. Zero sugar.
Zero sugar, 6% of your daily value of sodium.
Which is those electrolytes, obviously.
Yeah. It's got some vitamins. I don't think we usually bring up the vitamins.
No, well, we usually mention in the ingredients. Usually, it's like B3, B6, B12, I believe.
Yes. But yeah, for the most part, these vitamins really don't.
They're not a significant source of any of the vitamins.
Yeah, like it says potassium. It has less than 2% of your daily value, as well as magnesium.
35 milligrams though is not bad.
Yeah.
I believe that's one of the things they do add, like similar with magnesium. I believe that's one of the ones that they tout that they add to replenish sweat.
Now, admittedly, they do have 15% of your daily value of niacin, as well as your 15% of
That is that niacinamide.
Vitamin B6 and 35% of vitamin B12.
That's pretty good. That's
a-
like a decent amount.
Yeah.
I mean, just from one serving. I mean, that's not too much. I mean, if you've seen any of our other reviews, you'll know that we don't usually finish the bottles on camera. We do drink them after the fact, however. But I mean, we usually don't get really a serving. So
Yeah.
I mean, over the course of a day, perhaps.
But yeah, getting on to the just the ingredients. So we have water, less than 1% of citric acid, electrolytes such as salt, monopotassium phosphate, magnesium and calcium chlorides, natural and artificial flavors, sucralose, acesulfame K, vitamins B3, B6, B12. Getting to the hard pronounced section, we have niacinamide,
I think it's niacinamide.
pyridoxine hydrochloride, and cyanocobalamin. And then we have red 40. That's red 40. Yeah, that's red 40. Blue 1, ascorbic acid, which is to protect taste. And lastly, we have calcium disodium EDTA to protect the color.
Interesting. Nothing terribly out of the ordinary, I think, for this.
Yeah, it's very standard, I'd
Yeah,
say.
it has the natural and artificial flavors, but otherwise it's about the same.
Yeah.
I'm just to say the color.
The color is...
I mean, it's weird because the color's still very dark.
It is still very dark.
I don't know if you can see
like
the top. It's almost blue.
I was going to say it's almost black.
It's like a blackish blue, which is interesting because usually it's very
I am
purple.
colorblind, however. So,
Yeah.
I'm
not an optician, but I think that is in fact. I mean, if you look kind of through it, it looks blue. It looks like a very dark blue. It looks like a sort of like a glass bottle, like maybe you'd see on like an apothecaries or something.
See, I couldn't tell you that, but I will tell you this: when you sort of lean it this way,
actually, you can
it
kind
does sort of lighten up.
Yeah, there's definitely some purple going on here. I mean, if you see definitely there, you can see at the bottom, and in fact, you get some of that red. But at the top, you get more of this kind of
black.
Yeah, it's very dark. It's almost as dark as it is in real life. But if you look, I mean,
yeah, it's.
I don't know. Is the actual bottle like it almost looks smoky? Like, I think that's just because of the color.
I don't know. I think it should be just.
Yeah, I'm sure it is just the normal
Powerade bottle.
Yeah, the clear color. But it's interesting. It looks a little smoky just because of how purple the color is.
Yeah.
Which always interests me. I think, personally, I always find grape to be one of the most interesting color-wise. Because since this is a zero, one thing we note is that usually the sucralose, the zero sugar versions, they're a lot less cloudy. But that hasn't made this like any more easy to see through, which is crazy to me. Like, it's still...
it's still very dark.
Yeah, I can't...
And it's very...
I can barely see a finger through.
For being a 0-calorie drink, it is still very opaque.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's that, what was that, red 40 and blue 1?
Yeah, I believe that was red 40 and blue 1, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how dark that is. I mean, it like you said, it is almost black. It's just interesting to see this stuff. Should we pour it out?
I think it's time that we crack this one open and start pouring it out.
Yeah. You don't mind?
Sorry,
You're fine. Ooh, does it have a good smell?
It has a interesting smell. I'll give it that.
The color's so different outside.
Yeah, it's like when you pour it out, it becomes more translucent.
Look at that. That is actually crazy translucent. That's amazing. Like looking through that.
Like if you
it doesn't
compare what's in this. I mean, it doesn't really show up that well on video, but you can see if you.
Yeah, I can't really show my
Maybe
finger.
what it is you put the cap on and that blocks light from the top.
That's possible. Like you can see through this. You can clearly see my hand. It's a little darker and a little purple, but it's for the most part it's very close. It has the same kind of smell.
It has the same sort of medicine-y smell that we discussed in our previous grape review.
Yeah, and in fact, a little way, I wonder if the sucralose is going to make this perhaps even more medicine-like.
Maybe.
Because it's going to be very kind of chemically.
It specifically reminds me of
Cough syrup?
not cough syrup. Grape Tylenol.
Okay, interesting. I'm sure it's a similar chemical, similar smell. I wonder if that's an artificial. I mean, like that's the artificial grape. I don't know if that's necessarily natural grape. I don't think so.
Maybe.
I wonder what else is. I wonder if we've mentioned before what we think the
other flavors are.
Yeah, what the natural flavors is. Also, I want to say yours looks considerably darker than mine.
Could it be? Do I have more than you? I might have accidentally.
You actually have a little more than me, but it's interesting because it's actually.
I have a habit of doing this. I pour myself a bit more.
Well, I think you just. I think personally you're just very. Excuse me.
You said the forbidden word. I'm sorry. You said it. So can't do that.
Powerade.
Thank you.
The Powerade. I feel like it's condensed more.
Mm-hmm.
You have more of it, and I understand you're a big fan of Powerade.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel like I don't know. I think the fact that you're such a big fan, and that it's, I don't know, something about the color. I think the actual dyes that they use. I think something about them makes them like multiply in like color value, if that makes sense. Like I think it's not like some of these other colors, like maybe the orange, where the color is kind of consistent throughout the pour. But with this, the less you have, the lighter it gets, if that makes sense.
I see.
And I think since your love makes you, perhaps pour a little more than you should have, then you get that darker color. That's all I wanted to mention. It was just a little aside.
I see. I think it's time we.
Let's have a sip. Cheers.
Cheers.
Can't really see it through the bottle.
Do we want to do it again? Just there we go.
Yeah, much better. Wow.
I must say, I definitely did taste the sort of medicine-iness.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's very strong medicine-y now.
Yeah. It was bearable with the sugar Powerade, but I think with the Powerade Zero, it really sort of pushes it over the edge.
Yeah, it's like, it's a shame because I really want to like this, and I do like it, but it's like very, I don't know, it's almost too, it's not like a metallic, but it's some sort of pungent chemically taste. And I mentioned this with the other zeros, but I think it's especially apparent here. And I think something about the artificial grape.
Something else I wanted to say is I don't remember having this with the original grape, but it's definitely sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like I can feel it in my like upper nasal passage.
Like it's kind of like running up your nose. Interesting.
Are you getting that same sort of...
I'm not. I'm getting a little bit of the throat roughness, but I think that's just kind of something that happens with zero, especially when you're ready to drink rather quick.
I see.
One thing I did remember from our previous discussion with the sugared grape, we actually were talking about how like it has almost like a winey taste, which I'm really not getting at all from this.
I'm not getting any winey taste from this either. I'd say the sugar version is more akin to a wine, and this one is more
like a grape juice. I think perhaps is maybe a better way to say it. It's more of a grape juice. It's more of like a grape, like a Kool-Aid or a medicine or something like that. We're not sponsored by Kool-Aid. It's like, I feel like almost like the tartness was sort of overtaken by the sucralose.
Yeah.
It's one of those rare examples where the flavor profile has actually changed rather dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
I almost felt like, in a way, the sugared version, the high fructose corn syrup one, it's almost more like natural tasting in that way.
Yeah. This one definitely, it's definitely more medicine-y tasty.
Mm-hmm.
And now that after a few minutes after drinking it, I'm sort of like getting this funny feeling in the back of my tongue. Are you getting that?
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of that. It's almost like a little spicy. It's almost like if you had like a little black pepper or something and you swallow it. It's almost got that little like kind of like spicy kind of kick to it.
It's like making my tongue shrivel up in like a weird way.
Yeah, it's like, it's weird because it doesn't taste sour or tart in any particular way like the sort of sugared one did with the wininess. But like this does, which is weird because you'd think it would kind of be the opposite. I'm wondering if the sucralose is seriously having that big of an impact on the drink.
Yeah.
I must do. I actually just finished mine.
Do you want?
Yeah, I'm actually going to top myself up a little bit.
Okay. Because it's just... It doesn't necessarily taste bad. It's just the sort of experience that comes along with it that I mean, you couple the sort of medicine-y artificial taste with just like, I don't know, this sort of experience, the nasal, like...
The sort of spiciness, the sort of like shriveling of the
tongue. It's like...
Yeah, the back of the tongue, I think, specifically, not just
I
like
can like, I don't know what it is, but I can definitely feel something.
A little bit in the roof of the mouth, maybe. Or perhaps that's just how I'm swallowing it.
I don't know. It's just not a very... I really don't know what to make of this in a way.
It's weird. It's definitely not as good as the original.
Definitely not.
I think one thing to note, because throughout all the other flavors, there's been a little bit of a difference. Like, say, I think the white cherry ultra was different to the normal white cherry.
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot of the flavors, like the oranges, which have been kind of all similar.
Yeah, I'd say the orange is...
The fruit punch was similar. The sugar levels were different, but the taste itself was very similar.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of the few ones where the actual taste of the drink itself, not the sweetness, mind, but the actual, like, the flavor profile.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's changed.
Yeah.
Like, the sucralose has made such a drastic impact on...
I'm still getting, like, the
tingles.
It's not a pleasant experience.
No.
Not at all, no.
I mean, it's weird, and I'm obviously still drinking it, because I do enjoy grape, but, like, it's weird. It's like, it is a different drink, basically.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just...
I wonder what the other flavor is. I almost do get, like, a little bit of, like, a lemoniness in there. You know what I mean? There's something that's giving it, like, a citric kind of taste, and I don't just mean the citric acid, but there's something in there, it almost feels like.
I want to say almost like an orange.
Yeah, something a little citric.
Yeah, it's very citrus.
Yeah.
Like, it has citrus undertones to it.
Yeah, and I mean, it could also just be that it is just, like, artificial grape and natural grape, and that's just the flavors.
Yeah.
But there's something... It's interesting. I don't know that I hate it. It's not pleasant, and it's not preferable to normal grape. I think we should just get that out of the way straight up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what I rated the original grape.
Neither do I.
I don't think this is better than that.
What would you rate this out of a 7?
This is tough. Maybe like a 4.5?
Really?
That seems high.
Because I was...
Maybe a 4.
I was going to give what I believe is my lowest rating yet and give this a 3 out of 7.
Wow. I think you've done lower. I think you've maybe one of the Citrus Blasts or something.
I think maybe the Citrus Blast Ultra was lower, or maybe at least around there. But it's not a pleasant experience for this one. Because I'm getting a very strong medicine taste. Coupled that with like the sort of like mouth tingles.
Yeah.
It's almost like I'm getting tongue sort of convulsions. And I don't know if that's caused by this necessarily, but I mean...
It must be.
I mean, it has to. I mean, I wasn't having those sort of things before I consumed this beverage.
Yeah. It's like... I think there's something interesting, something to be said about how it's different. Like, it's... You'd think, normally, if you look at this, you say, oh, it's just grape. But it is actually a different experience to the grape Powerade formula. I think more sort of invested Powerade drinkers would actually find it interesting that there's like such a difference here. And I almost want to know, I mean, perhaps someday maybe we could even do like a more direct comparison.
Ooh, where we drink the original and then compare it to the Powerade Zero?
Because like I think like straight up, this is probably the biggest difference between variants of Powerade.
Yeah.
Because it's not just sweetener that's different here. It's the actual entire flavor profile. And I've said that before, I can't stress enough, like, it's just crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm not too big a fan of the difference. I think the original grape I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, I think we both rated it pretty high.
But then this comes along and it's just kind of like...
It's like, ooh, it's got something else in it.
Yeah. And I'm not too big a fan of it, honestly.
No, saying that, I feel like it... No, I was going to say, for a second, I was like, it's not too bad for, like, if you were at a sporting event, let's say you're, like, doing boxing or something, if you were given this Powerade, part of me says it wouldn't be too bad, but another part of me is like, no. It's a little too smoky, perhaps, kind of the aftertaste.
Yeah.
There's a little more of that chemicalness in it.
It's a very unique flavor in a bad way.
Yeah, which is interesting because I feel like it's rare to have one of the sort of health conscious, like the diet Powerades, because usually they are just variants of the sugared flavors, but this one is like almost its own thing. It's still obviously grape, but it's like a different grape.
Yeah,
it's like comparing like orange juice to orange Powerade. Like they're different flavors, even though they're both orange. It's just interesting.
And yeah, I'm just not a fan.
That's fair.
I think that's how I would sum up all of my thoughts on this.
I think that's understandable. It is different, and I don't completely hate it, but it's not ideal. Certainly worse than normal Powerade, or normal grape Powerade.
Yeah,
but it is definitely its own thing. I almost want to say go out and try it, because you'd think it's just a zero. It's just going to kind of be similar to the other ones. It is its own thing, and I think people should maybe make their own opinions on it. Perhaps people would like it. Perhaps they like that sort of more artificial, not chemical, medical taste that this brings to the table more so than the normal, which we again described as like more of a wine sort of taste or a juice or something of that nature. It's interesting, and I think it's something people should experience at least once if they are fans of Powerade and have not tried this flavor yet.
Yeah, I don't really have any further comments on it.
Yeah, that's basically sums up all I want to say.
Yeah, it's basic. Just to quickly sum up all my thoughts, I don't really enjoy it that much. It's too artificial, too tingly. Yeah, it doesn't really make for a pleasant drinking experience. And I think that's all I really have to say about the Powerade Zero Grape.
I think that's fair. I think that's basically all we have to say on the matter.
Yeah.
I think we did pretty good job.
So, yeah. Farewell, Poweraders, and stay safe.
Until next time.